Good morning, and thank you for joining our webinar this morning. I am Daniel Douglas, and co-presenting with me today will be Ryan Johnson.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're going to cover AnyCAD inside of Fusion 360. And today we're going to focus on using Inventor files and show you what AnyCAD looks like in Fusion, and how to set it up and how to use it. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. What you should expect, the basics of how AnyCAD works and the high-level view of how it uses files and how it's referencing them. And then you should expect to see a couple of workflows using Inventor IPT files and Fusion 360. All right, now the first thing about AnyCAD is you will need the desktop connector app, which allows you to synchronize local and cloud files using your hard drive and Fusion, or excuse me, and A360. If you are using Fusion, you have to activate your preview, and you will need to have a team hub in order to take full advantage of AnyCAD. It allows you to use, at this time, it allows you to use Inventor and SolidWorks parts, and they can be directly referenced inside of Fusion. What happens is the model, any alterations that you make to the referenced model inside of Fusion will be updated when the non-native file is changed. We are going to demonstrate this today. Just to explain briefly, the desktop connector creates a link between a location on your drive and the cloud. So if you have in this case, Fusion team, we are essentially creating a drive on your desktop, Fusion 360, and you can place references to a hub in that drive. So in this case, the demonstration is using Team Flare, and that opens up a folder with all the subfolders inside of it. Any files that are in there will be updated and so on.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in real quick. Just for reference, it's going to work really similar to how Dropbox or anything else works that you have right now, syncing files onto your computer. The difference here is that you're actually syncing files to the secure team hub that you set up with Autodesk for your company's data. So it's not really that different of a workflow than what a lot of people are used to be using, with a desktop connector allows that live connection between your local hard drive and the secure project on your Fusion team hub. So just thought I'd throw something there for reference if it helps understand the connection, just like a Dropbox or a Box account or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, Ryan. That's a good analogy for what is happening there. It's a secure connection, and the cloud-based storage that you're using through A360 is designed to protect your files and your privacy and your security. It's Autodesk's intent and purpose there. All right, so your team hub, if you are working out of Fusion 360, and this demonstration today is aimed at users of Fusion who are trying to use Inventor files, we automatically receive a hub with each seat of Fusion. So in this case, you can see my seat, or my hub, which is Daniel Douglas, which is what I received when I initially opened up my Fusion account. I have two more hubs there. Each one of them has its own selection of projects, its own group of users, and each one has different access. So my personal hub is mine, and I can share that. But my team hub is an additional level of security and connectivity that is designed for teams and to facilitate collaboration. You need a team hub in order to use AnyCAD. Now, I'm going to switch to my Fusion briefly. One thing that I want to show you is that, here we go. One thing I want to show you is that you need to go to your preferences inside of Fusion 360. You want to go down to the Preview tab, and you have to select the AnyCAD preview in order to use AnyCAD. You'll want to do that, and you will only be able to select that if you have a team hub available to you. So some of you may be trying that and you may not see an option. It's only going to happen if you have a team hub. Perfect. Now, inside of Fusion, one of the semantics that I want to address right off the bat is we aren't necessarily directly editing the IPT file. We will be referencing that IPT file and a Fusion file, and then we will be linking that IPT into that Fusion file. So you will see in the timeline here, at the very beginning of the timeline, you have that linked icon. If the original IPT is out of date, we will receive a warning and it will prompt us to update it. I will not be able to directly alter the IPT in Fusion. At least in the case of AnyCAD here, I will let that be edited in Inventor. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Ryan, and he's going to show you a file in Inventor and demonstrate the process of saving that file and showing you how to use how to select the desktop cloud sync folder. So I'm going to hand it over to Ryan.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel. Give me just a second to show my screen. And Daniel, can you see that?
I can.
Okay, awesome. So I'm working in Inventor here, and we're just going to keep this really simple for the sake of demonstration for this first design. We have a small bracket here that I've been designing, and Daniel needs access to this, and he's going to make some changes on his side of the design. So all I've done is a quick sketch and an extrusion and a fillet, and I've saved that. So when we go to save the file, all we have to do is look in this is my PC directory, and you will see the link for Fusion 360 if you have the desktop connector installed. The desktop connector will show each hub as its own node, and once you access the hub, so I'm just going to double click just like any other folder in Windows. This is actually looking at the folder on my local machine. Here are a list of all the projects that I've got inside of my D3 Tech Fusion Hub. So if I go to the Fusion webinar project, this is the one Daniel and I are working in, and you can see I've already saved this mounting bracket in here, so I'm not going to create another copy. Once I save it in there, if I go to my Fusion Team Hub, it will automatically sync into my project that we're looking at. So at this point, I think I'm going to switch it back to Daniel, and he will show you the file that I have already saved and how he accessed that in Fusion. Once he's done that, we can switch back, and I'll make a change to the model. We can watch this update happen live. So, Daniel, let me make you the presenter again.
All right, thank you, Ryan. All right. Okay. All right. Is that, you see my screen there, Ryan?
Yep, we're good
Perfect.
to go.
Excellent. So here I am in Fusion, and I'll just go a little bit higher level here. Actually, no, I am in my project, Fusion Webinar, and here you can see the mounting bracket that Ryan saved out. It is an IPT file, so I can, let's see, what I'm going to show you is the file that I've already applied some changes to. All I did was double click on the mounting bracket initially, opened up a new untitled file, and at the beginning of the timeline, there's this link, the body link that shows that I have a connection to this IPT. Now what I'm going to do is make some adjustments to some of these features. So in this case, I will increase that offset, to 1 inch. And I will do the same on the other side. Now, these changes that I'm making are specifically within Fusion. Yeah, these changes that I'm making are specifically within Fusion. And I am simply referencing this externally as though it were a part brought into the assembly. It's similar to that. It is not the same as that. That's just an analogy. Now, I've made that adjustment. You can see that I can work on this model. I can add fillets if I feel so inclined. Now, in this particular instance, I think that this bracket is ready, and I'm prepared to send it off. But Ryan receives some information from engineering and realizes he needs to change some dimensions. So I'm going to save this, and you can see my bracket has updated. Now you'll notice that the IPT stays exactly the same. It's kind of like the blank. And now I'm going to pass this off back to Ryan, and he's going to show an adjustment that he's going to make, and then we are going to see how that affects the changes that I have made.
Yep. All right, thanks, Daniel. So here I am back in Inventor, and we've got a design change that came through on this file, so we'll just go ahead and make a couple updates. This is going to increase the height of our part, and we are also increasing the width a little bit as well. And the other change that was made is that the thickness got doubled, so we're working with a 1/4 inch plate now. So here's the file as I've updated in Inventor. I am simply going to hit save. It is already located in that desktop connected folder. So when I save it, the version updates locally, and it will sync the update to the project we're working on inside of Fusion Team. And at this point, I'm going to switch it. Man, that was a quick, easy change, Daniel. Thanks for making that so easy. I'm going to give it back to Daniel, and we get to see what happens on his end.
Perfect. All right, so here we are, back in my Fusion environment here. Now you notice up at the top of my Fusion application here, you can see this icon, this link with a warning on it. Now, if we go down to my timeline, you will also see that body link that I talked about earlier has a warning on it as well. So just up here at the top, right up here by the save, I'm just going to click on that. I'm just clicking on it, left click, nothing else. What it's going to do is it's going to fetch the change and then apply those changes. All right, look at that. The adjustments that we made, that Ryan made to the plate, were translated through, and the features that I had applied retain their constraints and are adaptively placed. Okay. Now, in essence, what we're able to do here is utilize a non-native file and not have to go through an elaborate process of exporting and saving and translating. And we don't have to have a whole tree of files that we have to go through and update. This is a huge time saver. And not only is it a time saver, it's very automated in terms of the process. Once you have it set up, we can just make the adjustments and carry on.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in real quick. One other.
Perfect.
Yeah, so far what we looked at here was some very simple model editing. That's not always what you're doing in Fusion 360. Sometimes you're getting data from the Inventor or SolidWorks, or in the future, CATIA, Pro-E, whatever else we get AnyCAD links with. And you're just doing another operation on it. Daniel, will you go ahead and click on the environments, like where it says model environment?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times you may be pulling in a fully completed model and doing, if you're in the marketing, doing rendering. You may be doing some simulation, stress analysis, or event simulation. You might be running CAM toolpaths on Inventor files that other people are giving you. With this link, you no longer have to have an unrelated, separated workflow where they have to send you copies of the file. You can work on top of their actual CAD file. And we also threw an assembly in the data panel there, just to demonstrate. Sometimes you may not be modifying the actual part file that you're referencing in. In this case, I've built a display panel inside of Inventor. Let me see. Yep, so Daniel's got that up. That display panel was created in Inventor. We built a Fusion 360 sheet metal piece that mounts to. So in this design, the requirements state that we need to change the width of the panel for clearance on the circuit board, and I'm going to go ahead and make those changes to the model in Inventor and update it and hit save. And in this case, the file itself from Inventor is not going to update, but the file will update in Inventor, but the only changes it's causing are changes to my sheet metal, my Fusion sheet metal part, instead of the thing itself. So there's a lot of different workflows that this, can really help out with. We'll see. I've gone ahead and made the change and hit save. It may take a minute to sync. There you go.
There we go. And now I'm going to update my linked components. Now, this is a very important workflow as well when you are dealing with product development and you have electrical components or circuit boards that you don't necessarily have modeled inside of your current environment, but that you need to reference. This allows you to make adjustments and alterations according to the needs and requirements of the internal components and reference those components and have your design update as those components change, because we know that the latest and greatest model will always be down the pipeline. And so the ability to make changes and alterations and adjustments and have those be updated is invaluable and has long-term effects, especially on complicated projects with a lot of iterations. All right. Now, there we go.
Yeah, it looks a little tight now. We might need to redesign our sheet metal bracket, but we didn't have to do any, reloading or replacing files or rebuilding to figure that out. We simply updated the source component.
Right.
Really awesome workflow for like vendor, if you're getting vendor parts that are in SolidWorks or Inventor or something, and using them in your model, mounting patterns and anything like that's just going to sync right across.
Fantastic. All right. Now, at this exact moment, let me see. Ryan, did you have any more thoughts on some of the effects on other environments in Fusion?
Yeah, I'm really, whatever you're doing, like for example, if you're running CAM toolpaths, those are adaptive to changes in the model. So when you reference in a model, instead of recreating or doing a dumb link, not a live link, a change in the model might require you to redo things and recreate stuff, because when you import a new model, the face IDs are not going to be the same between previous and new. So for workflows like CAM, where you're picking a face and letting the toolpath calculate, if the face updates, it's automatic. You don't have any extra work to do. Same thing with simulation. You've set up the loads and things based on specific faces and parts in the model. So AnyCAD allows you to link to those live instead of in a way where you have to manually update them. So that's really why this is so exciting. We've been waiting for AnyCAD to show up in Fusion, and this is it. The preview's there. So.
Perfect. Now, let's see. One thing that I did want to briefly mention as we are winding down here, I just wanted to go over briefly some of the ways that we can export essentially just the interface for exporting Fusion files. So let's see. In this case, I'm going to go over here to my data panel, and I'm going to right click on this mounting bracket here. And now I can start a live review. I can share a public link. And if, let's see, I'm going to go over to, there we go. If I go over here to the File drop-down menu and go down to the Export button, I have a variety of files that I can export it as, and I can save the project to the cloud. Well, that is the default with Fusion, and I can save it to my computer as well.
Yeah, I might mention also in the Fusion team view of this file, if you've given people access to download, there are a lot more formats available
Correct.
on the Fusion team page, which is pretty cool. I'm planning my next blog post right now on that ability to download files automatically from the cloud. So if you guys haven't checked out our D3 blog, we got a lot of updated stuff like this on it.
Well, I'll just show very briefly. Going into my Team Hub here, I have the file available, and I can choose to export it. And here I have a nice long list of options. 360 Archive, which just packages up the 360 file and all the parametrics and exports it. And I can export it for Inventor. I can do IGES, SAT, SMT, STEP, DWG, DXF, STL, etc. So it's SketchUp and OBJ. So that's something to keep in mind in terms of your ability to work with files, non-native files.
And so one other thing, I know we're wrapping up here, but we showed you guys the AnyCAD workflow from Inventor to Fusion. It also works from SolidWorks to Fusion. It will also use work from Fusion into Inventor. So if you have Fusion designs that you need to AnyCAD reference into your Inventor models, that's also available.
Absolutely. No, and down the pipeline, Autodesk is planning to add support for a wide range of other CAD files. And what was that list again, Ryan?
A list of other CAD files?
Yeah, down the pipeline for AnyCAD.
I mean, we really don't know. It's not been announced
Oh yeah,
yet.
that's
But
right.
in Inventor, anything available in Inventor, I would think that they would be working to add eventually.
Absolutely. And this is just
Um,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, and that's CATIA, Pro-E, Parasolids, SAT files, all of the generics, IGES and STEP, and ones like that. So you can find that list pretty easy, but I'm sure it's always going to be changing as we add support for other packages.
Hey, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that info there. Now we are wrapping up here, and this webinar we hope to have communicated AnyCAD and Fusion 360, and we chose Inventor to demonstrate today. But the workflow in terms of the Fusion side and the desktop connector and the Team Hub, the workflow is the same with SolidWorks as with Inventor. So keeping that in mind, I hope this was informative for you, and I hope this just another way to keep you guys up to date on what's happening in Fusion. And constantly we keep learning, and we're always trying to adapt and provide content that can help you guys as you continue to professionally develop. So here, if you have any more questions for us, if you want to strike up a conversation, or you just want to learn more about Fusion and how we can help you with that, then there's our contact information, teamd3.com, and feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much for attending this webinar, and I would just like to invite you to attend future webinars with us, and we would appreciate any feedback you have. So, Ryan?
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Hope you found this informative, and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you.
All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.